Filling grout joints properly is one of the most critical finishing steps in any tiling project, and when it comes to kitchen wall tiles, the stakes are even higher. Kitchens are exposed daily to steam, grease, splashes, temperature changes, and constant cleaning, which means poorly filled or poorly finished grout joints can quickly lead to cracking, staining, mold growth, and even tile damage over time. In this comprehensive, in-depth tutorial, we walk you through every single stage of the grouting process for porcelain tile on kitchen walls, from the initial preparation, through mixing, application, tooling, cleanup, curing, and long-term maintenance, so that you walk away with the knowledge and confidence to achieve flawless, durable, professional-grade results on your own kitchen project. This video is designed for everyone. Complete beginners who are grouting for the very first time, DIY homeowners tackling a kitchen renovation on a budget, and even experienced tilers who want to refine their technique or pick up a few professional tricks they may not have considered before. We break everything down step by step, explain the reasoning behind each technique, not just the how, but the why, and highlight the most common mistakes people make so you can avoid them entirely. What you'll learn. Check mark how to determine whether your kitchen wall tile joints need sanded or unsanded grout, and why joint width matters. Check mark how to properly prepare porcelain tile joints before grouting, including cleaning out spacers, dust, and adhesive residue. Check mark the correct waiting period after installing tile before you should begin grouting. Check mark how to mix grout to the ideal consistency, not too runny, not too stiff. Check mark step-by-step technique for loading the grout float and applying grout diagonally across joints. Check mark the correct float angle, usually 45 degrees, for pushing grout fully into vertical and horizontal joints. Check mark how to avoid air pockets and gaps inside the grout lines. Check mark timing your first wipe down correctly so you don't pull grout back out of the joints. Check mark how to use a grout sponge properly, including how often to rinse it and how much pressure to apply. Check mark techniques for achieving perfectly straight, uniform grout lines across an entire kitchen wall. Check mark how to handle corners, edges, and joints near outlets, switches, or cabinets. Check mark how to deal with grout haze once it appears, and the best tools for removing it. Check mark how long to let grout cure before sealing, and why sealing matters for kitchens specifically. Check mark how to choose a grout color that complements your tile design without showing dirt too easily. Check mark common mistakes: over-wetting the sponge, grouting too early, uneven joint depth, and how to fix them. Check mark long-term maintenance tips to keep kitchen grout looking clean for years. Check mark how to spot repair small cracks or gaps in grout without redoing the entire wall. Check mark signs that indicate your grout needs to be resealed or replaced. Tools and materials: wrench grout sanded for joints wider than 1/8 inch, unsanded for narrower joints. Wrench grout float rubber edged. Wrench margin trowel or mixing paddle. Wrench mixing bucket. Wrench drill with mixer attachment for larger batches. Wrench grout sponge, fine cell, high quality. Wrench 2 clean water buckets, one for rinsing, one for clean water. Wrench microfiber cloths. Wrench grout sealer, penetrating or membrane forming, depending on grout type. Wrench small foam brush or applicator for sealing. Wrench safety gloves. Wrench painter's tape optional, for protecting cabinet edges or countertops. Wrench utility knife, for removing excess grout from edges or corners. Step-by-step overview. Keycap 1 confirmed tile adhesive has cured fully, usually 24 hours minimum. Keycap 2 remove all tile spacers and vacuum or brush out joints. Keycap 3 mix grout according to manufacturer instructions until smooth and lump-free. Keycap 4 apply grout diagonally across tile joints using the float at a 45-degree angle. Keycap 5 pack joints fully, checking for gaps or air pockets. Keycap 6 scrape off excess grout at a steep angle to avoid pulling grout from joints. Keycap 7 wait 15 to 20 minutes, then begin first sponge pass in circular motions. Keycap 8 rinse sponge frequently and avoid oversaturating the joints. Keycap 9 allow grout haze to form, then buff with a dry microfiber cloth. Keycap 10 let grout cure fully, typically 48 to 72 hours before sealing or exposing to heavy moisture. FAQ. Question mark how long should I wait after tiling before grouting? Typically 24 hours, but always check your specific tile adhesive's curing time, especially in humid kitchen environments. Question mark: should I use sanded or unsanded grout for kitchen walls? Unsanded grout works well for joints under 1/8 inch, while sanded grout is better for wider joints and offers more resistance to cracking. Question mark: how do I prevent grout haze on the tile surface? Wipe with a damp sponge in circular motions, rinse frequently, then polish with a dry cloth once haze fully forms. Question mark: can I use colored grout for a kitchen wall? Yes, colored grout can enhance your design significantly, but always test on a small hidden area first to preview the final look. Question mark: how soon can I clean the kitchen wall after grouting? Wait at least 24 to 48 hours before exposing tile to heavy moisture, and ideally use only a damp cloth during this period. Question mark: do I need to seal grout in a kitchen? Yes, sealing is highly recommended in kitchens due to grease, moisture, and food splatter, which can stain unsealed grout quickly. Question mark: how often should kitchen grout be resealed? Generally every 12 to 18 months, depending on the sealer type and how heavily the area is used. Question mark: what causes grout to crack over time? Common causes include using the wrong grout type for joint width, insufficient curing time, or structural movement behind the tile. Question mark: can I regrout over old grout? No, old grout should be removed with a grout saw before applying new grout for proper adhesion. Question mark: why is my grout uneven in color? This is usually caused by inconsistent water ratios during mixing or uneven sponge pressure during cleanup. If this tutorial helped you achieve cleaner, longer lasting, more professional grout lines on your kitchen wall tile, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone currently working on a kitchen renovation. Drop any questions you have in the comments section below. We read every comment and are always happy to help troubleshoot your specific tiling situation. Stay tuned for more in-depth tiling and home improvement tutorials coming soon. Hammer and wrench.
Understanding different types of grout. Before diving deeper into technique, it's worth understanding the different categories of grout available on the market. Because choosing the wrong type is one of the most common mistakes homeowners make. Cement-based grout, whether sanded or unsanded, is the most widely used option because it's affordable, easy to work with, and available in a huge range of colors. However, it is naturally porous, which means it requires sealing to resist stains and moisture. Especially in a kitchen setting. Epoxy grout, on the other hand, is a 2-part or 3-part system made from epoxy resin and a filler powder. It is significantly more resistant to stains, chemicals, and moisture, making it an excellent choice for kitchen walls that are exposed to grease and food splatter. The trade-off is that epoxy grout is more expensive, has a shorter working time before it starts to harden, and requires more skill and speed to apply correctly. Many professional installers recommend epoxy specifically for kitchens for this reason, even though it demands more preparation and practice. There is also a newer category of urethane or single-component grout, which combines some of the stain resistance of epoxy with the easier application of cement-based grout. It doesn't require sealing and cures relatively quickly, but it can be more expensive than traditional cement grout and isn't as widely available in every region. Choosing based on your kitchen's needs. If your kitchen wall tile is behind a stove, sink, or high-splash cooking zone, prioritizing a stain and moisture resistant grout like epoxy or urethane will save you maintenance headaches long-term. If the tiled area is more decorative, such as an accent wall or backsplash away from direct grease exposure, a well-sealed cement-based grout will perform perfectly well and is far easier for beginners to work with. Common mistakes based on tile type. Porcelain tile, because of its dense, low porosity surface, behaves differently than ceramic or natural stone when it comes to grouting. One of the most common mistakes is not cleaning the tile surface immediately and thoroughly enough during the sponge phase, because porcelain's smooth glaze can make dried grout haze significantly harder to remove once it fully sets. Unlike more porous tiles that can sometimes absorb small amounts of excess moisture, porcelain will hold any residue right on the surface. Another common mistake specific to porcelain is applying too much pressure with the grout float, which can cause tiny scratches on certain matte or textured porcelain finishes. Always test your float and sponge technique on a spare tile or an inconspicuous area first. especially with textured or matte porcelain, to make sure you're not leaving marks on the surface. With natural stone tile, by contrast, sanded grout can sometimes scratch softer stones like marble or travertine. So unsanded or specially formulated stone-safe grout is often recommended instead. While this video focuses specifically on porcelain, understanding these differences can help you avoid applying the wrong technique if you ever work with mixed tile types in the same kitchen. Deeper dive. The science behind grout curing. Grout curing isn't simply about the surface drying to the touch, it's a chemical hydration process for cement-based grout, meaning the material needs a specific amount of moisture retained within it to properly harden and reach full strength. This is why professionals often recommend lightly misting cement-based grout with water during the first 24 to 48 hours in very dry or hot climates, to prevent the surface from drying out too quickly and curing unevenly or weakly. Epoxy grout cures through a chemical reaction between its resin and hardener components, which is less sensitive to ambient humidity but very sensitive to temperature. Curing too fast in high heat can cause workability issues, while curing in cold temperatures can leave the grout soft for longer than expected. Detailed explanation of tools. The grout float itself deserves more attention than most tutorials give it. A high-quality rubber grout float should have a firm but slightly flexible edge. Too soft and it won't pack grout fully into the joints. Too hard and it can drag grout back out during the initial application pass. Many professionals keep two floats on hand, one for the initial packing phase and a second, cleaner one for any touch-up work, to avoid cross-contaminating dried grout residue into fresh application areas. The grout sponge is equally important and often underestimated. A fine cell, dense sponge holds water more consistently and doesn't disintegrate as quickly as cheaper, coarse sponges. Professionals typically rinse their sponge in clean water after every 1 or 2 wipes, wringing it out until just damp, not dripping, before each pass over the tile. A sponge that's too wet will oversaturate the grout, weakening it before it fully cures and pulling color pigment unevenly to the surface. Extended maintenance schedule. For long-term care, it helps to think of kitchen grout maintenance on a rotating schedule. Weekly, a simple wipe down with a mild, pH-neutral cleaner keeps grease from building up in the porous surface of cement-based grout. Monthly, a slightly deeper clean using a soft bristle brush can lift any residue trapped in texture or slightly recessed joints. Annually, or every 12 to 18 months depending on usage. Reapplying a penetrating sealer to cement-based grout will restore its stain resistance as the previous sealant layer naturally wears down from cleaning and daily use. If at any point you notice grout becoming discolored despite regular cleaning, this is often a sign the sealer has worn away and moisture or grease has begun penetrating the porous cement structure underneath, at which point resealing, or in more serious cases, regrouting, becomes necessary. We hope this deeper, more technical breakdown gives you a complete understanding not just of how to grout your kitchen wall tile, but why each step and material choice matters for long-term durability. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next tutorial.